Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com. It is Wednesday, November 10th. It's 11:10:10. Yesterday was 11:10:9. No, 11:9:10. And then tomorrow's going to be 11:10:11. I mean, or whatever. 11:10. Yeah, so we are proud to welcome City Council member Neal Andrews into the studio with us. It is National Homeless Awareness Month, the month of November. It's so obviously that means the country, and then we have it in the county and then the city of Ventura. So Neal, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I hope this is the first of many visits with us.
I hope so too.
Let's speak about National Homeless Awareness Month, and then specifically about the seminar that's happening on Saturday with the League of Women Voters.
Well, because it's National Homeless Awareness Month, all across the county of Ventura, we have organizations that are doing special things to raise awareness to the homeless. In the city of Ventura, for example, we have the Ventura Social Services Task Force, which is the lead agency. It's an organization of volunteers, but it's the lead agency dealing with the issues of homelessness in the city. And they have been putting on a number of events, speaking at service clubs and other organizations, talking about the issues of homelessness and what have you. In addition, they are doing, in addition to this program on Saturday morning that we're going to talk about later, they're going to do a cardboard brigade on Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
Cardboard brigade is as many people as they can mobilize to go out on the street and hold up a cardboard sign, like you see so many homeless people doing. But those signs will say, I'm not homeless, but 600 of your neighbors are. And suggest a way to help. So that's going to really draw attention. And then on Saturday night, there will be a showing of two films at the Unitarian Church on Ralston Street in Ventura. The first film there is a film about the art community in Skid Row in Los Angeles and the beautiful works of art they produce. And these are homeless people. And then the second show, the second movie, will be one done by our own Phil Taggart here in town. He's the videographer, and it's called River Haven 2. And it's a sequel to a previous film done on River Haven, which is our homeless encampment.
At the river bottom.
Not at the river bottom. It's a long story about how that happened, but no, it's over by the Santa Clara River, actually, on city property. And it has evolved from a tent camp to now what's called U-domes, which are semi-permanent but much more weatherproof shelters. And it's just a great experience. That one emerged from the floods of 2004, when we had to evacuate the river bottom to save those people's lives. And in the process of doing so, we created what was called Camp Hope, which was a 3-day camp that we used the armory to help people make the transition out of the river bottom to someplace else during that flooding season. There were a number of people who emerged out of that experience. They called themselves the Dirty 30. And because it was a terrible experience. They were muddy and dirty. They really were dirty, you know. But it was a way of expressing humor about it. So they called themselves the Dirty 30. And they said, if someone will help us, we'll form a self-governing community that will help people get out of this experience, this homeless experience. And so they did, and it evolved from a tent community that moved around in various campsites to one that moved to a permanent campsite, and now it's in the U-domes. And it's being sponsored by the Turning Point Foundation. That is the organization that agreed to help them. And it is self-governing. It is drug and alcohol free.
Really?
More than 50% of the people who live there have jobs, but they just don't make enough money to actually have housing. More than 50% of the people who have lived there over these years from 2004 until today have actually been able to return to mainstream in regular housing. The other 50% that don't have jobs are, generally speaking, disabled. And so they have some income, sometimes from Social Security or disability, but every one of them pays some rent to the group in order to make sure that they can cover all their expenses and so forth. And it's just a great experience. But that took us away a bit from all this other
Actually,
stuff.
if you don't mind, I would like to explore that just a little bit further. Why then is there, if there's a place for homeless folks to go to where they can have an environment that is safe, alcohol and drug free, and they can subsist on minimum, why are there still people on the streets?
Because there are over 600 homeless people in the city of Ventura alone that we count. And there are hundreds more that don't get counted. And River Haven only has the capacity for 25 people.
Oh, that's a big problem.
Yeah, it is. But anyway, we were talking about the events this month now that are going on. In addition to speaking to the various service clubs and so forth, the next major event in Ventura will be what's called One City, One Meal. And that's on Thanksgiving. And the public is invited. We will be serving a Thanksgiving feast at the Knights of Columbus Hall in Ventura. That's just across from the Mission on Figueroa Walk. And of course, we'll be serving the poor and the homeless with that meal. But the idea is more than that. The idea is to have the people of this city come and sit down and eat with the homeless and the poor and share their experience, learn about their experience as a homeless person or a poor person.
What's to suggest that the homeless people will be forthcoming or even want to have that interruption?
Well, it's the way it's done.
That's the understanding?
Well, no, anybody's welcome to come and eat and go if they want, but we have it set up so that we will have what we call hosts at each table. And the host knows his job is to engage the whole table in this discussion. And some will be freer than others. Mm-hmm. In the past, this is our third year, in the past when we've done it, it was challenging to get the people to open up. Mm-hmm. But once they did, it was a very, very rewarding experience.
Obviously, it's to put a story behind the person instead of the general public looking and making judgment, because everybody has a story.
Everybody has a story.
And the question, though, is it's on Thanksgiving Day, and we all have families that we want to be with, too. So how do you account for that?
We know that. Some families will come for an hour just to volunteer. But for the most part, the people that we expect to come from the general public mm-hmm. are going to be people like seniors who are living alone, people who ordinarily would go out to eat anyway that day, and they might as well come down and eat free with us and have a great meal.
And what's the time frame of?
We're going to have 3 seatings beginning at 11 in the morning and lasting an hour, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, and 1 to 2. Last year we served over 600 meals in those 3 hours.
And in terms of volunteering, how are you getting? I mean, I'm glad we're having this discussion because I'm sorry to say this is the first time that I've heard about the event. So
you can volunteer by calling the Salvation Army.
Okay.
Salvation Army is the coordinating headquarters.
And so volunteers would include not only hosting a table, but serving or preparing or cleaning up or setting up or?
Yes. We've invited people to sponsor a table, various organizations like the Rotary Club is sponsoring one, the Kiwanis Club is sponsoring one, and so forth. What the sponsors do is they try to organize their little group to fill the volunteer slots. We ask each sponsor to donate $100 to cover the ancillary costs of the event and to cook the food for 20 people.
And to cook the food for
and to cook, well, they don't have to do all of these things, but if they did the whole package, mm-hmm. they'd give $100 to cover ancillary costs. They cook meal for 20 people, and we have a very strict regimen about the diet. They have to cook the meal we want to have served.
Right.
And then they would have at least 2 people in each of the hours seated to host the table, to facilitate that discussion we're talking about. At least 2 people to serve the table, and at least 2 people before the program, and then after the program to help clean up, set up and clean up.
Okay.
Yeah, that's if they did the whole
If
package.
they did everything, and they could take pieces of it.
They can take pieces of it.
We're visiting with City Council member Neal Andrews, who's with the City Council of the City of Ventura, and we're speaking about National Homeless Awareness Month. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to speak about an event that's happening on Saturday that's involving the League of Women Voters. But also, if you don't live in the City of Ventura and you would like to participate and learn more, we're going to get that information as well when we come back from our break. Thank you so much for watching the Maria Sanchez Show right here on KADYTV.com. We'll be right back.
The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county. Whether we are simulcasting live from the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, checking in with the leaders of our communities, hearing from our elected officials, helping to promote public safety, preparedness, and wellness. We are here for the needs of Ventura County. The Maria Sanchez Show is also about entertainment and events, sharing information, creating awareness, and supporting those in need. Won't you join us as we rewrite the rules of local television on the Maria Sanchez Show at www.kadytv.com.
Welcome back to the Maria Sanchez Show. It is it's Wednesday, November 10th. We thank you so much for watching, and we appreciate you spreading the word. We want you to know that we are rewriting the rules of local broadcasting. So when we fly by the seat of our pants sometimes, like our first guest, Scott Harris, he got stuck in traffic. So he called me, he goes, I might not be there on time. I was thinking, that's okay. We're live television. We do what we can. I am certainly not short of opinions and stories myself, coming from a broadcast talk radio background. So we just want you to know that we appreciate you bearing with us at times. We describe it as the early days of television, where I even grew up watching Barnabas. Dark Shadows was the name of the show. And you could see the sets like somebody bumped in it behind it and it would move, or a light would fall, and then they just continue on doing what they were doing. And it's just like, whatever, that's what happens when you're live. There is no safety net. So welcome to the Maria Sanchez Show here on KADYTV.com. Just a reminder that tomorrow's Veterans Day, so please honor our service men and women that have fought for our country, for our freedoms, to have us be the greatest country in the world. And we have Neal Andrews visiting with us. Neal is the Ventura City Council member, and this is National Homeless Awareness Month. The City of Ventura has all kinds of things going on. We're going to speak to the one on Saturday. But Neal, since this is a county-wide program, you said that you have a website that if somebody lives in Somas or they live in Fillmore or
Yes.
Westlake.
There is an organization called the Ventura County Coalition on Homelessness. It is a county agency. You can access that either by going to the county website and getting the link, or Googling Ventura County Homeless Coalition and access it directly. They will have information about things that are happening all across the county. And the event on Saturday is a county event, not a city event.
Which is another reason that we wanted you.
Right. The event on Saturday is actually sponsored by the League of Women Voters, Ventura County League of Women Voters. It has the support and collaboration from the Ventura County Homeless Coalition and from the Ventura City Social Services Task Force. I'm sorry about that. I gotta
See, it's live television.
It's live television.
I've got mine. We usually try to remember, but I say to everybody, please just put it on vibrate.
I forgot.
It's okay.
I forgot. I'm so sorry. Anyway,
No
let me
worries.
follow up with here. So the organization that's sponsoring it is the League of Women Voters. It will be at the County Board of Education offices in Camarillo. It'll start at 9 in the morning and it'll go to noon. And it's free. There'll be some refreshments, free parking and so forth. The address is 5100 Adolfo Road. But again, it's the County Board of Education headquarters offices in Camarillo on Adolfo Road, 5100. The event will start with a discussion of the facts and myths about homelessness, wherever you are, whether it's this county or in Ouagadougou. The facts and myths are about the same. We will talk about the specific facts of Ventura County in terms of the numbers of people that are homeless and things like that. And then we will move from there to a discussion of the county-wide 10-year plan to end homelessness.
Excellent.
And there are 22 recommendations in that plan. Each city in the county has adopted or approved that plan, as well as the County Board of Supervisors. And each of us is tackling some of the recommendations and trying to deal with at least a part of the problem. So after we talk about that plan, then we will have a panel discussion of all representatives from all around the county and all the various cities who will talk about the success that they're having in implementing that plan in their community. There's great successes
Are there?
being
Can
developed.
you give us a snippet?
Well, I can talk, for example, about two I think that are very, very important. One, the Ventura Social Services Task Force 2 years ago established a program called the Homeless Prevention Fund. People can contribute to that fund online by going to the United Way, and when it says contribute, you indicate, pull down the menu, and it's right there on the menu, Ventura Homeless Prevention Task Force. We've raised a substantial amount of money in very small donations over these last 2 years. And every dime of that money goes to help a family that is on the verge of becoming homeless. Because we know that 50% of the people that are homeless in any given year are newly homeless.
Wow.
50%. And if we can stop that transition into homelessness,
You've cut it in half.
we've cut it in half. The problem is cut in half. So far, that fund has saved nearly 160 families in the city of Ventura from becoming homeless.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is a lot. It's over 300 people, well over 300 people.
Yeah.
And it has done so at a cost, an average cost of about $725 per family. And the reason it works is because, first, it's sponsored by the Social Services Task Force, all volunteers, no cost. The United Way accepts the money and deals with the check writing and stuff like that. Again, it's tax deductible because it's United Way, and they do it for free, no cost.
Okay.
The case management and the allocation and distribution of the funds is through Catholic Charities, Project Understanding, and the Salvation Army, all of them donating their services at no cost. So every dime that's contributed actually goes to help a family. The families, to be eligible, must still be in housing, and they must be able to show that there's just a one-time event, a sickness, a job transition or job loss, a car breaks down, just one-time event that's causing them to not be able to pay the rent. And then the fund will step in and pay that rent for them for that month, one time only, once a year, and the maximum is $1,200 per family. But they'll pay that, and they'll pay it directly to the landlord. It doesn't go to the family, directly to the landlord, so that keeps that house there. We follow up at 6-month and 12-month intervals. And over the 2 years that we have done this, 90% of the families we've helped have stayed in housing.
30 days doesn't seem like that would be enough of intervention to change their circumstances.
But it often is.
But apparently, it obviously is.
Yes.
And at such low cost.
At very low cost, right, exactly.
So my one question is, and we only have a limited amount of time left, how does a family know or get the information that this is available to them?
Well, again, they can go to the Social Services Task Force website, which is www.vsstf.org, and the information will come up there. They can also just go to the United Way website if they want to, and like I say, if they want to make a donation and do it directly that way. In addition to those kinds of things we just talked about, incidentally, that is a national award-winning program. The national United States Interagency Council on Homelessness, which is the big national leading organization on this issue, has designated that program, initiated right here in Ventura, as one of the 8 best programs in the nation. And it's really great.
That is fantastic.
So,
So this event that's happening on Saturday that you mentioned, do
Right.
people have to register?
no, just
Okay.
show up.
It's 9 to noon,
9 to noon,
5100 Adolfo Road,
right?
free parking,
Free parking,
refreshments.
right.
And you can come for some,
Some or all,
okay.
yeah.
And again, the website you want to drive people to?
All right, that's the easiest way to go is to the website www.vsstf.org, and that'll you can get all the information there on all these things.
And during our discussion, we've been putting your contact information, so if you get some, you'll know why.
All right.
Okay.
I can live with that.
Neal Andrews, Ventura City Council member and homeless advocate with Homeless Awareness Month. Again, that information will also be on our archive because of our conversation today. And it's certainly an issue that I'd like to promote before Thanksgiving again, another conversation about that, because I'd certainly like to get involved personally on a level in that regard too. You're watching the Maria Sanchez Show. When we come back, we're taking a quick break. Maria's Musings, and then an event that we were at today that was a pre-Veterans Day event at a school here in the county that is very patriotic and inspirational. We'll be right back.
The Maria Sanchez Show is about the county, by the county, and for the county.